New Superman, issue 13, Jean Lun Yang writing, Billy Tan on art.
I did read it.
Yes, and I
It was
assume you
good.
liked it.
I did. I love Keenan Kong. I'm glad, even if I worried that Yang's kind of bringing this to a close because maybe sales aren't where they should be. The fact that he showed up in Action Comics as part of the Superman family,
Yeah.
he has he's earned a place in the
Makes it
DCU.
He's at least sticking around, even if the book ends, he's at least going to be around.
Exactly.
Uh,
But here, I almost feel like they can transition into a Justice League of China
it does
book
feel that way.
because
Because
yeah,
this issue, ultimately, he deals with the fact that he just learned that Dr. Omen said that was his mum, and he doesn't really
his
believe
mom.
her. He goes to find his dad because he found out his dad was in this facility. He's not there. He gets angry, and I Ching shows up, or he's already there, and he's like, "Look, Keenan, you have to focus. You have to." And he takes him to the sort of the white chi place again. And he's like,
Right.
"Look, what is your chi telling you to do?" And it says lead. And it's like, you have to lead. It's time to be the leader.
Yeah.
And it's all the symbols of all the different Chinese superheroes pop up. It's like, you have to find your team. You have to form the Justice League of China, and you have to win this fight. Because Superman Zero is now Emperor Superman, or whatever he's
Emperor
called.
Superman.
Emperor Superman.
Yeah.
He's got a new... I actually kind of like his new costume, actually.
Yeah.
I'm digging the whole kind of Chinese Emperor vibe that he's got.
Hmm.
It's pretty cool.
Exactly.
Uh, but I
I
like
do
it.
love that when he tells him he has to create the Justice League of China, and he goes, and even Robin bot. Like,
That's pretty good. So
Yeah.
I like it at the start, Emperor, because Emperor Superman actually kidnaps Dr. Omen at the start of the issue.
Right.
He swoops in and takes her,
'Cause
and he uses
that's his mother too, in his brain.
yeah, because
It's-
she created him in a lab.
she created
so,
him.
Yeah,
Right.
but he's not traditionally. Whereas obviously Keenan is traditionally.
Yeah,
her son.
but it's a nice dichotomy between the two, between New Superman and Emperor Superman. Like it's a fight over their mother. So
Yeah,
I think that's pretty cool.
I just want to point out, I really like that he uses his freeze breath, and it actually freezes Keenan in a block of ice, and then Avery comes
Yeah.
in and uses her super speed to punch him out of it. I thought it was
Yeah,
pretty
and
fun.
she got a name too. I think what is it, Fast Track?
Yeah,
Or
right, yeah,
Fast-
fast track. I think it was fast track.
Okay. So she's not just the Chinese Flash anymore, Avery. She has a code name, which is cool. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I
she
lo-
comes through and warms them up. That was pretty great.
I've said this before, I think, but I really love that she's became a main part of this book. Like, because she was interested in Flash,
That's-
they brought her in, and it feels like she's stuck around, and she's just been here since, and she's been one of the
It's
characters.
reminiscent of when I started reading comics and you'd get the characters popping up in other people's books. And they wouldn't be, it wasn't like during the New 52 where they'd put it on the cover, you know. They would just be there. And then that's how you would find another book because you'd track down what that character did. And it's seamless. We're
Yeah.
not making a big deal out of it. She's just the Flash in China and she works well with Keenan.
Yeah, it's great. So they make Dr. Omen, but basically Emperor Superman, his endgame, well, not his endgame, but his current sort of part of his plan is that he wants all the criminals released out of the crab shell prison, and he makes her do this by basically threatening to kill and almost drowning her ex-husband, I guess is maybe the correct term.
Yeah.
Zongdan.
I mean, if she, I don't think they got divorced,
Yeah,
right?
presumed dead, maybe.
She presumed dead. Yeah, I mean he's a widower, so we'll call him her widower.
Aye, whatever. Keenan's dad. That's the quickest
Yeah.
way. Zongdan, just for future reference of his name. I feel like we never learned his name because we just kept calling him the chief.
Keenan's dad.
Well, no, because remember, he's got his villain's name was like a Chief Emperor General Red something or like,
General Dragon.
yeah. It was like 5 words, so it was hard to remember.
Well, that's one of the naming things that I love that they kept from the Great Ten. Is that, I mean, sure you have Bai Shi, who's Chinese Batman, but you also have like the most glorious human firecracker as one of the villains. You know,
Folding Paper Man, still the best.
Golden Paper Man.
Who's in this
Still
issue?
my favorite is August General and Iron because it describes the character.
But
anyways,
it confirms something we'd been talking about actually. About remember how we thought I Ching was secretly a villain, and then we said, "Oh, maybe it's the yin and yang. Like this is like the good version and the bad version of the same character." They confirmed that because Omen thinks it's I Ching who's with Emperor Superman. He's like, "Oh no," but I guess even a shadow looks like its regular self. Kind of thing. So they confirmed that it is like an alternate version of him. It's not actually I Ching. I Ching, who's with Keenan's, actually is trying to help him. So that's pretty cool. And she actually agrees. She lets them all out, and we get Chinese Bane, who I wasn't expecting. But this was the kid who
no.
this was the kid who wanted Baxi's like
Baishi.
spot from Baishi. Sorry, Have I been saying it wrong every time? Is that?
Yeah, but I just take it up to the way you talk.
Yeah. So the kid Baishi wanted his spot from the training academy, who were all trained to be Batman, and they had that whole issue where they had a fight and it was being rigged from underneath, and his sister was involved, and all the rest of it, all that plot. But he shows up in a sort of very Bane-looking mask, and he even mentions that he discovered something from America called Venom. And it's like, oh shit, he's actually his Bane. Like, he's full on his Bane. Yeah. And that was pretty cool. To the point where after his mask gets ripped off, he holds Chinese Batman up over his head like he's going to break his back. And of course, that's when Keenan runs in and like super punches him in the face and saves him. So we have most of the Justice League together because then runs Avery with Robin Bot. And
we're missing Daylon.
Of course, who's still missing because, again, just recently we found out that she was actually this mythical being who was frozen in rock until recently, and then the villain who was also frozen in rock. So there's that whole thing, which I loved as well. This book's really good. Like, as much as it's connected to the rest of the DC world, it's so isolated for the most part that it feels like everything is part of its own story. It doesn't feel like it's it's not relying on other things, even if it is connected in cool little ways.
And Yang has a real good control over all these characters, which presumably he created. The exception being Avery, I guess, and even I Ching. But
and obviously,
you know exactly who they are.
Whenever the Great 10 show up, and technically, I think Superman Zero wasn't his creation.
No, although I think it was because he was writing Superman at that time when we got that issue.
Yeah, but that wasn't him. That was Tomasi. Or was he introduced before the final Days of Superman arc?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was a Yang Superman because they all started crossing over.
Fair enough. Just because because it was Tomasi who wrote the arc that at the end when he was going around and that led to everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, fair enough.
But anyways, he has control over all these characters and they all feel right. Like I never have an issue with the storyline in this book because it just feels like these are how the characters should act.
Yeah, no, I'm still digging this. It feels super self-contained. Obviously, we still have Keenan showing up in other books, and we still have characters like Avery coming in, but it feels so self-contained in all of these different elements